Welcome back, everyone. Avernum is upon thee. All right, here we are. Just turned in our sewer quest. Let's go ahead and return back to Fort Avernum. Love the little exclamation points that kind of give you an idea of where shit is. Ooh, Warwick.
We've met Anastasia. She is staying in Silva. Really? Oh, thank you. She stands and embraces you. My sister and I were foolish enough to question the Empire slaying all the Nephilim in our province. We were sent down here one after the other. I am poor and there's little I can do for you. However, I'll be sure to tell all I meet of the kind travelers who took pity on me in my time of need. Thank you again. Have you managed to go see her in the 2 seconds we've been talking? I've sent her a message while you weren't looking. The roads are dangerous, so I do not want to try to travel there alone. Soon we will be reunited, though, I'm sure of it.
Have you seen her yet?
Just kidding.
Alright, looks like we got some dexterity and some different stats there. Let's go ahead and level our characters. It's time. I think we're gonna dual wield with both of our badass fighters here, our Berserker and Trog, our warrior. Because dual wielding is just cool. And carrying around shields, well, they give you a penalty to hit, so they suck it. So let's go ahead and pump up some more strength, because you can never have too much strength. Let's go ahead and take melee 4. And let's go ahead and take... What else can we get here? Blade Master makes you far more effective with all blade and pole weapons. Each level increases damage by 3 and chance to hit by 1. Also helps recover from fatigue more quickly. Let's go ahead and grab some Blade Master. Gonna need to get some cave lore eventually as well. We can also train each of our characters in cave lore. We want to get our total up to 11, so we're going to train each character in 2 levels each, which will give us 8. I believe there's a quest and an item that'll give us 1, so that'll bring us up to 10. But eventually we'll want to at least put 1 point into somebody for cave lore. After 11, it no longer matters. We should be able to search all the caches in the game, so... From a min-max standpoint, we're definitely going to want to make sure we stay on top of that. But I want my fighters to be sick. So I'm going to go ahead and melee. Give him some Blade Master as well. Level 3. Got that 58 health. Alright, now for our priestess, I should say. She's got some tatas. I'm going to pump up that intelligence. Looks like she also got a dex point. And let's go also give her some priest level. And arcane. This is Arcane lore. Luck, cave lore, mage spells. The more of this in your group, the better. Also helps resist mental effects. Also going to throw a point into intelligence. And we're going to do mage and arcane. Eventually, like I had mentioned in a previous video, we are going to start adding skill points to melee for our priests and wizards. So that we can get to that adrenaline rush. It's all about that end game and being able to have those 3 attacks per round for all 4 of our characters. Alright, we're all set. We are level 3 now. Feeling frisky. And I think we got a reputation point finally. Even though we're still completely unknown, we have now 1 reputation point. Fort Avernum, 7 miles south. Formello, 40 miles north. Beware bandit territory to the north. Well, we're at Fort Dubno now. Let's immediately start stealing shit. Those pillows are comfy. Board game. Looks like checkers or chess. I think everyone has pants. Got the studded leather belt, gives a little bit more armor. Well, twice as much, I should say. Alright, we'll let Clot get a little bit more fashionable by wearing a belt. Alright, found ourselves the tavern. Let's go ahead and do another save. Whoa. Soldier, why are you so red looking? Alice! The inn is clearly much frequented by merchants and warriors, the ones who pilot caravans north and south.
The proprietor waits impatiently behind the counter. Stop gawking, she snaps. I'm Alice, and this is my inn. We have drinks and supplies. Sometimes we have room. That's all.
Let me see the menu. Not that menu, your menu. Caius and Jake and the soldier. You see a small worried man in long robes. They show the wear and lichen stains that come from heavy travel. A holy symbol hangs prominently from his neck. He invites you to sit with him.
I am Caius, speaker of holy chants. Come and join me. I don't mind some company, and I take a rest from my journey.
Tell me about your holy symbol.
He holds it up. You see that it is a tiny die forge of silver. I am one of the speakers of holy chants, and yet I am no missionary.
Can you tell me what you worship?
Nothing and everything. Everything is vast, and only those who strive and risk all can prevail. He looks embarrassed. As I said, I am no missionary. You can learn more of our path in one of our temples. There's one in Formello.
I would be interested to learn more holy rituals.
Then travel north to Formello. If you'd expend your magical knowledge, there is much to be learned there.
Well, maybe Clot will be interested more than Ronstock. Alright, not much from him. Let's talk to Jake. You meet a farmer named Jake. He spends his leisure time here at the inn, playing chess against all comers and making friendly wagers on the outcome. A few minutes of observation reveals that he is a fearsome opponent. Not wanting to lose any of your money, you quietly fuck off.
I could whoop his ass at chess.
What's chess?
I have no clue.
Okay, I don't think we need to steal a bar of iron in broad daylight. Captain Johnson! You've earned some experience. Remembering what you saw on the job board in Silvar, you tell Captain Johnson of Jay's plight. He nods. I could use another blade. I have a scout going to Silvar soon. I'll send word to this young warrior. He tips you a handful of silver coins for your trouble. Alright, so maybe we got Jay a job as a soldier here. Good deeds done. And that was the message for Fort Duvno quest. You see a large bearded man in a gleaming steel armor. An iron halberd is strapped over his back. Clearly he must be the captain of this fort. He's a grim man with cold eyes and a huge variety of scars. Fortunately, he doesn't look unhappy to see you. So, you're here, he says. I got word promising warriors arrived in Fort Avernum. I won't pretend we don't need the help. I'm Captain Johnson. I'm in charge here until we get a new commander. Tell me more about your fort, Captain Johnson. I've been in charge of it since our commander died. That should have replaced me by now, but the castle is in no hurry. We were meant as a staging post for merchants heading north to Formello and south to the Tower of Magi and the Great Cave. We weren't intended to be protectors of the whole Eastern Gallery. It just ended up that way. What happened to the commander? Fell to an arrow while attacking a band of brigands. Not a savvy fellow. Was put in charge of this fort in more peaceful times. And he never adjusted to the harshness of life. Why haven't you been replaced? He raises a mailed fist and slams it into the desk. Because I get results. Because we kill without mercy. Because I live to see Nephilim blood flow freely. And they won't promote me for much the same reason. What can we get here? Healing, some crude supplies. Walner can make potions if you want to get the proper equipment or learn magic, though. You'll have to go north to Formello. How can we assist you, Captain? I could use help protecting this fort from the bandits and Nephilim. It's my job to not rest until all the vermin are dead. But you have all these soldiers. What can we do? All soldiers are the best, but we can always use some adventurers too. The bandits are off balance now. We could really use help against the Nephilim. He practically spits out the last word. There's a weird gleam in his eye.
Tell me more of this Nephilim problem.
His face twists into a cold grin. It's a little disturbing. Vicious vermin, I'd love to strangle every fucking one. They're building a new fort to the north, and I sent a small group to check it out. All my scouts were lost. We need to burn out their lair while it's small. He grins. Of course, we're getting them back. We got one of them in the cells, dying slow.
I'd like to help you with your Nephilim problem.
All right, then. The new Nephil fort is in the north. It can be dug out by the goblins right now. If you can kill their commander, come back here. Talk to me, and we'll reward you.
Nephil prisoners? I hope you kill them. I can't stand those feline savages. That's not very nice, Ronstock.
Don't worry, we'll take care of them. I don't go in for that mercy to non-humans drivel. If they fight us, they pay.
What can you tell us about the bandits?
I'm not too worried about them. They live in a fort to the northwest. They destroyed several farms, but we're wearing them down.
I'd like a chance to fight against some bandits. Can we help?
Definitely. The bandits have overrun a ruined fort to the west. They're led by a powerful mage. If that mage were gone, we'd have a much easier time dealing with them. Kill the magician, and you'll be well rewarded. Alright, so it looks like we picked up a couple more quests there. The Bandit Irritation quest. And the Nephilim problem. Nothing worth stashing into our journal yet. Where did this ladder go? Oh, shit. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody up here? If not, I'm gonna steal. Dun, dun. Every fucking thing in sight. Some leather greaves. Big upgrade from the pants. Oh man, with this -5 shit. You guys are killing me. %, and this is 4%. Gives a chance to evade attacks. But -5% to hit chance. Why you gotta do me like that? If we could just keep unlimited shit in our junk bag, we might as well just keep it until we do get to negotiate and then sell it. Right? Couple radiate ice spells at this point. We got crude javelins. They're not worth a shit though. Oh, that iron javelin went into there. I was like, where'd that go? Yeah, we're just up here helping ourselves. Don't mind us. Where'd you go?
Oh, nowhere.
Door's locked. Tool We gotta have 10 in our tool skill, tool use skill to open it. There's a lone Nephil held in the cell. His fur is matted and greasy, and he's clearly starving. A long gash on his leg festers on the tendon. Found the body of a human brigand. He apparently died of starvation, although the heavy flogging he received couldn't have helped him to stay alive. Life in Avernum is hard, and thieves and criminals who end up in Fort Dubno receive no mercy from the captain. He doesn't have a ton of magical items on him? Inconceivable. You make small talk with the guard for a while, but you don't learn anything interesting. Blood will flow, no mercy! Grimmett's smithy. Tink, tink, tink. The man in front of you is huge, leather-clad, and grimy. He holds a very large hammer. The heat from the forge leaves his face flushed, and the red stands out dramatically against his pale skin. He looks over your weaponry. Got a pass? A warrior, I see. I'm Grimmett. I sell blades. Best you can find in the Eastern Gallery. The best weapons in the Eastern Gallery, you say? Aye. You'd have to go on a long march to find better. And what if we wanted better? Where would we go? Down south, to the Great Cave, and west. Dalman is where the best steel is worked. I'm not ashamed to admit it. All know it. Are you the Fort Smith? Aye, I am the blacksmith around here. Got a pass? I repair weapons and the like. You can buy some here and sell your spares as well. Can you repair anything? Actually, I just do small repairs. Now Boutel up in Fort Draco, he can do some good repairs. Is there really a demand for blacksmithing? Oh yes. The soldiers need fresh weapons as fast as I can provide them. The raids have been coming faster and faster. Who's doing the raiding? Mainly from the bandits lately, with the big kitties taking up the slack. There used to be lots of farms in the north. Used to be. Now we're the only fort in this area. He pauses to think. You know, we could always use some help. Talk to Captain Johnson, Big Johnson, in the guardhouse across the street. Look at all this cool shit he's got. We're saving our money for other things. Iron short sword. 19 to 76. We need to find us one of those. Almost take all of our damn monies. Bronze braces. Just apparently shit fucks up your chance to hit. Hopefully that gets countered by the skills we're taking. So I'm not a fan of armor fucking up my chances to hit here. We could sell. I'm just gonna hang on to our stuff for now. More bars of iron. I can't get that because Dingleberry's in my way. Ooh, there's an iron dagger. Grimmett didn't see shit. Whoa. He will if we steal from here, though. Iron dagger is still not as good as the crude short sword. Better minimum, but lesser maximum. Definitely in the market for some iron, boy. This cool statue. Some incense. It's Scott. Scott's out here fishing. You see an old man sitting under a tree. He's fishing. Are they biting? They are, catching plenty of the pale, slimy little monsters. What do you do when you aren't fishing? Well, not much. I used to be a farmer. Now I just do odd jobs and fish. What sort of odd jobs? Foraging, cutting down the cave wood and shaping it into boards, burning trash and waste. Same amount of work to get done down here as up on the surface. Why'd you stop farming? He speaks loudly for the first time in anger. Those cat bastards! They banned me from my farm! They wanted land, so they took it! Johnson sent out a group to attack their new fort, but they were never heard from, so I'm stuck here. He calms down and goes back to fishing. It's Waldner. The man behind the counter is short and heavy set. He wears mage's robes, not crisp and clean, but ratty, as if he'd been traveling recently. The air in here is a thick medicinal scent. There is some alchemical equipment sitting on the counter. The man sees that you notice it. Difficult to find supplies down here, but I manage. I am Walner, the sage. Welcome to my shop. You look like you do a lot of traveling. He nods. I try to be a sage, but I've been seeing a lot of action lately. He looks down at his robes apologetically. I also need to find my own supplies. What sort of supplies? Mold and fungi. I use them to make my potions. Any of the sort you find, you can bring to me. I've been trying to find a source of mandrake and grey mold, but I've had no luck. They're terribly rare. Sounds exciting. What sort of action were you in? Captain Johnson enlisted me to help out against the foe. I was on a raid against the bandit fort up to the hill on the west. It was a mess. But we fared much better than the group that attacked the Nephilim to the north. None of them returned. He looks at you hopefully. You know, if you want to help, you can speak with the captain. What can a sage do? Well, my specialty is alchemy. If you have foraged any lichen or moss or fungi with the proper properties, you can show them to me. If they are fresh enough, I can make something for you. For example, if you brought me healing herbs in adequate quantities, I can make you healing or curing potions. Even better, with the right mix of herbs, I can make a brew to speed you up in combat or restore your magical energy. Very useful, much in demand. I would like a healing potion. You give him the herbs, and he sets to work. Soon, Waldner hands you a clay jug filled with bitter medicinal brew. I'll take a curing potion, too. Man, he does that for free? Fantastical. All right. What about spiritual herbs? What can you do with that? Not much, I guess, eh? There are no words, just the design of a bow crossed with a javelin. It's JR. A small, slender woman sits behind the counter, working on fletching an arrow. Years in the other world have made her skin white to the point of translucence. She holds up the arrow, inspects it, nods her approval, and sets it aside. Then she looks up at you.
Welcome to my workshop. You can call me JR. I offer fine tools for puncturing one's foes from a safe distance.
What kind of missiles do you make here?
I make and sell archery supplies and javelins. Let me know if you want to purchase something. My stock is kind of low. Most everything I make has been going to soldiers.
This seems to be a very violent area.
It is. Sometimes I wish that my business was not so healthy.
Who have the soldiers been fighting?
To the north, goblins and Nephilim. To the west, brigands. And the rare Slithzarakai raiding party. The Empire has sent us all to a violent and dangerous land.
Alright, so she got bows and javelins.
Do you know where one might learn about archery?
I've been known to share my secrets, but only to one's adequate prestige to be worth my time.
So we have to have a higher reputation for her to be able to train us, basically. So whoever reads this, I've learned that there may be scrolls in the bandits' keep northwest of Fort Dubno. Such papers contain magical knowledge, something very rare in this underworld. If these papers exist and are brought to me, I will reward my helper with powerful paperwork of my own devising, signed Walner of Fort Dubno. He didn't mention anything about this or give us a chance to say anything. I guess we just get the scrolls and then come talk to him. Jason's farming supplies. Tall, peculiar man. He's dressed up in leather, sits by the counter. He has long hair and a broad smile. And cold, calculating eyes. Hello, he says in a soft voice. I am Jason. I sell supplies.
You sell supplies? It's a bit vague.
Well, I used to sell farming supplies. When there were farms, then I diversified.
When were there farms? What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a lot of brigands in these parts here now. Not good, respectable thieves. Savages. They've been attacking the farms. There's one band of them in particular that I'd like to sit dealt with.
Perhaps we could help you deal with them.
Perhaps you could at that. Go straight north towards Formello. You may meet a group of bandits which has been extorting money from merchants passing by. Deal with those some bitches, and I will pay you handsomely.
Can you be more specific about your trade?
No. I only sell supplies for farming. He makes little air quotes with his fingers when he says the word farming. If you want to do some trading, I can show you what I have. Otherwise, please leave.
Oh, okay. He's got a lot more than farming. Gold bars and rubies and shielding potions and all kinds of shit. Holy dingle-doof. Chainmail. Oh man, even chainmail is gonna fuck up our hit chance. I guess it's just something we're gonna have to deal with. Alright, another questicle. We're up to 8 quests now. And it looks like we got plenty of room for more. What the hell? Says the lizard. It has a little collar around its neck. It must be someone's pet. Got a little badass savage lizard back here. I can't go anywhere because of him. Well, if anyone's looking for their pet lizard, I know where he's at. Found us some more healing herbs. Every 2 makes us a healing potion. That's good to know. Potted plants. Who is this? Carol, the healer.
You don't look afflicted.
You see a tall, attractive woman with short, dark hair. She studies you carefully as you approach, clinically searching your bodies for any sort of damage.
Welcome, warrior. I am Carol, of the Hammer clan. A healer.
Is that Hammer or Hammer? Hamar? Hammer? I'm gonna say Hammer. Hammer clan. Hammer clan. Hammer clan! Yeah!
A healer by trade. My skills are much in demand in this fort.
What can you do for me?
Alas, I have no potions to spare. However, if you pay for my time, I can share with you a few minor rituals for focusing the patient's natural energy to heal wounds.
What rituals can you teach us?
Alright. Improve minor heal, improve curing, improve protection. Interesting. So how's that work? Let's say if we have her... You can only buy 2 levels in shops. Okay, well, that was 1 level. You already bought 2 levels of this skill from trainers. No, I didn't. I bought 1 level. Okay, well, it definitely gets better. And the curing can cure extra hostile effects. Maybe it's assuming since I started with it. I don't know that I need the better heal yet. Mine does pretty well. But it's good to know that Carol here can hook it up with a more powerful healing. I think we're done exploring Fort Dubno for now. Where is... Kotra? Fort Duvno. Fort Avernum. Oh, that's cool. It's showing us where all the questicles are. So from Silvar, we need to go northwest. We've discovered Kotra. So bored. It's also cool that it shows you where you're at. We have another job board. Let's take 4 more quests. Why not? Delivery for Formello. I was sent from the Tower of Magi portal to deliver a tome to Miles of Formello. I came to Cotra by mistake. And I must be going west to gain knowledge of the Slith Zerakai. I left the tome in the concealed chamber outside the pylon chamber. Whoever can collect the tome and deliver it to Miles will be rewarded. Thank you, Thomas. Or Tamus. The Slith Menace. An outpost of Slith Zerakai have been established on the island southwest of Kotra, uncomfortably close to the city walls. Killing the commander there will tell these creatures to keep to their own lands. When the deed is done, report to the mayor of Kotra for your reward. A message for Fort Dramlin. A sealed letter has been pinned to the board, addressed to Commander Rosie of Fort Dramlin. The note below adds payment upon delivery. And Nephilim encampment. A small group of Nephilim have been sighted camped northwest of Kotra. They are hostile and must be driven back. When the deed is done, report to the mayor of Kotra's secretary for a bounty. When you finish these quests, they can replenish on these bounty boards, so you do want to check these bounty boards from time to time to see if any new quests have occurred, or appeared rather. Time for a break. This place is pretty well guarded, I'll give it that. It's Jenny! Jenny from the block! You wait. You wait some more, and then finally Jenny talks to you. There's a pregnant woman with long blonde hair behind the counter. A pungent smell comes from the pots bubbling by the fire behind her. She says, "Welcome to my shop, Wanderer. I am called Jenny, Alchemist of Kotra. We have potions for sale, not love mixtures or other nonsense. My brews are the real items."
What are you cooking up?
I brew a wide variety of different potions. I'm an alchemist by trade. It's a difficult craft, as we who practice it tend to jealously guard our secrets.
What sort of secrets are you looking for?
An excellent question. The greatest mage in Avernum, or so it's told, is named Erica. It is said that she has a tower far to the west, but I know not where. If you could locate her tower and tell me where it is, I'll pay you a finder's fee.
Tell me more about this Erica.
I've heard many rumors, but facts are few and far between. She came down here decades ago, accompanied by many other powerful wizards from the Empire. Patrick, Solberg, Archmage Linda, that lot. She gives you an appraising gaze. You might wish to seek her out for your own reasons.
Why's that?
She has true power, and from what I've heard, true ambition. I can see in your eyes that you are the sort who wishes to do more than just rot down here. If I read you true, find Erica.
Alright, we got quest Erica's Towers. Erica's Towers, that's yet another quest.
Can you teach me alchemy?
She smiles apologetically. I'm afraid I don't sell my secrets. However, there's a mage visiting who mentioned having some skill in alchemy. He's been staying around the bar. His name is Koenig. You might ask for him.
Alright, she gets all kinds of potions for sale.
What are you expecting?
In 3 months, I hope. Thank you for asking. I'm nervous.
What worries you?
Motherhood is terrifying in the best of times, but here in the underworld, and yet for all its misery, this is our land. If we don't have children, We have truly surrendered to the Empire.
There's tongs. Oh, we can take these without stealing. And we shall. There, consider the quest item. Well, hopefully we find a pick and a shovel soon, because I'd like to finish that quest first and get rid of those items. Oh, we're a little short on that door. Damn, there's a gold bar. Can be a little challenging to steal here. Boy. Oh, no, they busted us. Let's try to at least get that, he's not on the screen. Alright, we got away with that. I'll take that, because at least we get that gold bar there. It's good money. I wonder if we can dump a bunch of shit on the ground and it'll stay there for the entire game. It's probably something we should test out. Flawed crystal. Why is that stealing? It's out here in the barrel. No one wants it. We got some sewers beneath Kotra. It's Koenig. You see a man in flowing robes, his polished hardwood staff close at hand. He doesn't seem to appreciate your attention. He stares into his bowl of mushroom broth and pretends you aren't there. When your staring finally becomes impossible to ignore, he sighs and says, "I am Koenig. What do you want?"
You're dressed like a wizard. Do you know any spells I can learn?
I'm afraid not. Well, I do know a very powerful ritual of warfare. However, I only teach it to those who have traveled far and have had much experience. Return when you have achieved much more.
What brings you here?
I'm looking for the Crystal Cave, and I prefer to be alone.
Sorry to disturb you, but can you tell me about this cave?
It's a legendary, dangerous cave filled with powerful crystals. I've heard of it from time to time. and if I knew of it, I wouldn't tell you. Now, please excuse me.
How do you know something about alchemy?
Alchemy, with the dour face twist into a slight smile. Ah! You must have been speaking with Jenny, that pregnant hooker. What I was saying was that the man named Cotra just found some interesting new recipes using grey mold. If you're interested, last time I saw him, he was in Fort Duvno. This was some time ago, however. He said he's planning to head north, looking for some isolated cave far from a city where he could do his research. Cotra had an apprentice in the Tower of Magi. She might know more. A young man with a cold, expressionless eye sits well back in the corner. He's hard to make out in the shadows. He slowly looks you up and down and then says, "What do you want from Asp?"
Can I speak with you?
"I prefer solitude. Good day."
What brings you to the Dark Lake pub?
"Just passing through." Looks like a little ninja ready to chop somebody in half. An aging, raven-haired woman tends the bar. She wears a dress made of gray, homespun cloth, which must chafe her terribly. Her dark hair contrasts sharply with the porcelain whiteness of her skin. She motions for you to sit at the bar. "I'm Elizabeth, and this is the Dark Lake pub. If you're heading west, it's the last place to get decent ale before the slit lands."
What services can I buy? Do you sell boobies?
"I sell food and drink, mushroom ale and decent rations. Just a thing for warriors just off the road."
Warriors also like boobies. Heard any rumors which would be a benefit to adventurers?
"Well, not much, actually. I've heard tales of a crypt to the north. Some merchants stumbled upon it. Nobody knows who built it or when. And no one can find out either because the front gate is always closed."
Where is this crypt?
"Fairway north, out of the eastern galleries and into the tunnels. It's in Neferlands, which keeps the more casual treasure hunters out." "Our only room is taken up by merchants, sleeping shoulder to shoulder. They are sorry about that." Got that bag of meal. I think we only need 4 or 5 bags of meal. I'm not sure. Actually, it turns out we need 50 bags of meal, so we better start collecting. I don't think we can get away with being able to steal those without getting caught, though. So hopefully we find a different way. It's Paul Wall! A wiry, nervous man sits behind the desk. He has long, frazzled hair and an aggressively growing bald spot.
I'm Paul, he mutters. I'm Mayor Steele's secretary. What do you need?
Excuse me, can I speak with the mayor?
I'm the secretary to his lordship, Mayor Steele. If you have some business with him, you have to go through me. But he's pretty busy with this prisoner business. You'd have better luck in the library.
Then I'd like to speak with the mayor.
Normally he loves to see people. However, the Nefarium to the north are holding some of our men prisoner. I'd only bother him if it's really, really important. He's only been thinking about the prisoners.
Where is this library?
Door on the right. Not much there, mostly records.
He chuckles.
But who knows, you might find a magic scroll. Anything's possible.
I'd like to know more about Kotra.
Then you're free to wander the paths of our fair, war-torn city. As for me, I'm busy. Excuse me.
A gray-haired man is hunched over his desk, muttering to himself. He wears impeccably clean wool clothes, probably recently arrived from the surface. A sash hangs from his shoulder, and he wears a golden amulet around his neck. When you approach, he gives you a cold, calculating gaze. After evaluating how useful you might be to him, he says, I heard rumors of wandering adventurers, a new warrior passing through our gates. I am Mayor Steele, leader of Kotra. May have worked for you. What work do you have? He looks up from his work. The Nephilim and Nephirim have a fort to the north on the far end of the lake. They've been giving us all kinds of grief. The biggest disaster happened about a week ago. They captured 10 of our soldiers. We don't think they're dead yet, but who knows how long it'll be before the kiddies get hungry. I'll tell you something. If anyone could rescue the prisoners, we would reward them well.
You only want the prisoners rescued?
That would be enough to please me. Nephilim are powerful warriors. I would not expect such a small force to fight such a number of them in their lair.
What should we know of these Nephilim?
They are strong, very strong. If you want to rescue my soldiers, you should find a way to sneak in and not confront the beast directly.
You're the mayor of Cotra?
Obviously. I lead one of the 6 large cities of Avernum, and the city closest to both wars against the kiddies and the sliths. So if you will excuse me, I have to get back to my planning. There's much to do and no time to do favors.
What sort of favors are asked of you?
Since I'm on the council, I am at times have the ear of King Micah. Many ask me for a crown token, so that they can enter the castle and see the king themselves. Such tokens are rare, and owning one is a true privilege.
I would like one.
I'm sure you would, and yet I'm reserving the one I own for when I need a favor of true import. If you need one, you should go north to Formello. I hear rumors that the mayor there is looking for adventurers.
Formello Schmello.
A group heal, and it's not a steal. Boom shakalaka. You enter the Kotra boat works. Small craft are everywhere in various stages of construction. When completed, they will be put on logs and rolled down into the water. It's very impressive. Avernum boats are small skiffs, built from the light spongy wood of the strange fungal cavewood trees. They float quite well, though boating on the subterranean rivers is perilous, even in the best conditions. Tools and tools, but we don't need tools, we need tongs. Eduardo! You see a heavy man with a peg leg. He wears an eye patch, but you can't help but notice that he occasionally lifts it and looks at things with both eyes. When he sees you, he leans against one of his boats and adopts a confident... Is that pyractical pose?
Ah, welcome to me shop.
Pyractical pose, I've never heard that.
I'm Eduardo, and I craft the ships that sail the dark and deadly underseas. Tell me about the dangers of the sea, Eduardo the pirate.
Ah, I used to sail the underground seas fishing and exploring. Then the sliths started attacking. Since then, business has been slow.
Tell us what you know about the sliths. You've never heard of them on the surface.
Not surprising. They only exist down here. They were here when we got here. I've heard that some of them are friendly to humans, but most of them hate us. They eat us and attack our boats. That's pretty much it.
And was it a slith that took your leg?
Nay, 'twas a sea worm. It slithered up from the deeps and sharp fangs took the poor fellow clean off.
Sea worm?
Aye, few believe they're real, but they are. They look far below, fearing the lights of the humans. But to mark my words, if they ever come near the surface in numbers, no sailor will be safe, only walking for ye.
This is a fine workshop you have here.
Aye, 'tis is to make boats, fine watercraft fit to sail the seas. Well, the lakes and rivers, you know. I've got one ready for purchase. You look tough enough to brave the danger, matey. And a bargain at 250 coins.
Not today.
Well, then I wish you a good day. I'll be back to my work. You meet a teenage boy. He's busy, eagerly working with some lumber. You watch him easily sling around the tools and boards. He's an extremely strong kid.
Almost remarkably so. He gives you a nod as he hauls the load of wood.
Welcome to the boat works. I'm Andrew. Apprentice Andrew, I mean.
What are you making?
Just working on the boats, spreading tar, filling holes, following Eduardo's orders.
So what's Eduardo like?
His eyes widen. He's alright, I guess. Doesn't beat me much. Lets me sleep 6 hours a night. Plus, his voice lowers to a whisper. I hear he was a pirate. Ask him about it. He'll tell you many exciting tales.
It doesn't sound like you like working for Eduardo.
He lowers his voice. No, I don't. I'm saving my coins to buy a sword and a suit of armor. Wow, that would be great. I could see the world. And if some heroes come along, I could help them. I'm real strong. And I'm great with tools and traps. And I can chuck a spear. I sure could be great on adventures. Golly.
Well, you could come with us. We could use a strong fellow.
Andrew looks you over. He notes your scars and many dents and scratches on your armor. He rapidly finds how great a distance there is between dreams of heroism and reality. Thank you. I still need to save up coins for a good weapon someday. I should go back to work. And he does. Well, there's tongs, but we gotta steal those in broad daylight. We did get another hammer, though. There's another hammer. So if we can get the picks and shovels, we should be able to turn in the bars and hammers quest. Found us some fucking sticks to boot. Oh boy. Who's got... I need a pick and a shovel here. I'm not going to find it in any other place. We'd probably see it. I need those tongs too, but I don't want to get in trouble stealing them. Elspeth's armor. You see a lethal-looking woman in a leather baldric. You can see the outlines of daggers of varying sizes through her clothes. Considering the dangers of Avernum, you can understand her wanting to be well armed. I am Elspeth. The blades and armor are my trade. And if you don't mind me saying, you look like you'd know a good weapon if you saw it.
Tell us about your wares.
I deal in armor and weapons. And if you have any supplies you don't need, you can sell them to me. What with the lizards around, business has been very, very good.
What lizards?
The Slithzerikai, you dumb shit. That's what they're called. They all live in the west, and they've been warring for some time. Them and their foul king. Like we didn't have enough trouble with the Nephilim and the Nepharim. She looks back at a wide variety of weapons on the walls. Yes, it's been a two-front war, but we're holding them off pretty well. Better than some.
Who is this king of the Slithzerikai?
The beast is called Sthis, and he sends the barbarian Sliths out to hunt us all. I am told that there are some Sliths to the south who don't follow Sthis, but I've never met one.
What's the difference between a Nephilim and a Nepharim?
The Nepharim are like the Nephilim, but bigger and sterile, like mules. Don't know much about them except they're nasty as shit. Captured a bunch of our people the other week. She sighs and then starts fingering a knife up her sleeve. We'll pay them back, mark my words. That's the armor she has selling. That's a pretty badass bronze shield, iron helmet, iron greaves. Minus 10% chance to hit. Fantastic. Let me just run and get those real quick. She's got broadswords.
Yeah, we want to dual wield a couple iron broadswords for sure. Ah, +5 hit to chance. +5 hit chance on the broadswords. That's, but it's gotta be, yeah. Just the broadswords have that. That'll cancel out the armor a little bit, especially if we're dual wielding them. Looks like the Kotra tunnels. Hello, statue. He doesn't talk either. But he seems to be guarding the chest that doesn't have anything good in it. Never mind, he's not a very good guard at all. He just let me rob that fish right in front of him. Oh, lots of mushrooms and they're free. Don't even get in trouble for taking them. Alright folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Stay tuned for more Avernum.